Here we are on the beach.
Here we are.
What are we going to do here?
We're going to eat chips,
Yes.
cut open some kalapa.
Yes.
We're going to have a little swim
Swim.
and sharpen the machete.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to burn rubbish for the first time because that's the way we do it. So we've got a bag, we're going to sort through it.
Got a bag, got some kalapa.
Yeah.
Cool. And there's our little setup.
Not much of a setup yet. We'll make a setup.
Yeah. We've got our very own shipwreck.
Kalapa!
Hey!
Thank you, Jess.
You're welcome.
So sweet.
So sweet and juicy. Yes, folks, it's a bit of a momentous morning today. You know why, don't you? We've had to make the call to head south. We're in the equator, just south of the equator, and because of the hoo-ha going on in the Middle East and fuel shortages being pretty severe, and especially in countries we need to transit through, like the Philippines, we are turning back and spending the foreseeable months in Indonesia. And because we've got some southeasterlies coming, we should be able to make our way along the Nusa Tenggara island chain and do some exploring. And we've still got some northerlies for a few days, so we'll make use of those. Try and get south of the equator and get some cooler climate, because I don't know about you, but I think it's too damn hot here.
Too damn hot.
So, because we're right on the equator, it's often quite still, and that's when it gets really, really cooking. So we'll try and get down to some trade winds, baby. And it is also April soon, so that should be the transition when we start to get a bit more wind starting to happen into May. April actually might not be that good for wind, but we'll see. Time to have some breakfast and put away the boat. Well, here we are, not far from Ambon. We're on the main island of Ambon, and we've taken this opportunity to give the hull a good clean because it's been a while. And we're in 5 meters of very clear water here on sand. And the big thing is there's no crocodiles in this area.
We hope.
We hope, because there's no real mangroves. It's all rocky coast and sandy beaches from what we've seen over the last day.
Unlike where we were last night, where we had 2 crocodiles circling the boat.
Yeah. Crocs circling the boat. So I've got the little deck dive unit set up here. These are my weapons of choice. Well, folks, we've achieved our mission, scrubbing the boat in the nice clear waters of this bay. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I think the condition of the hull was better than I was expecting, and we managed to give her a light scrub and removed a few barnacles, cleared a few seacock inlet areas, double checked the prop was okay. There was a bit of plastic, it's a plastic bag. So I pulled that out because we hit a bit of plastic yesterday. We had a bit wrapped around the prop as we were going along. So we're about 4 hours from Ambon if we manage to do 5 knots. Thanks for your help, babe.
Welcome.
Yum. So we're motoring into Ambon. In the distance there, it's over about 2 hours, 2.5 hours away, and this place has got a pretty interesting history. There's going to be lots of exciting things we're going to be sharing with you about the history of Ambon and recounting some pretty cool maritime historical stories. As is often the case when travelling in Indonesia by boat, we are confronted by the sheer amount of plastic waste in the water. This is an issue the Indonesian government must address. On our arrival to the centre of the harbour, we were welcomed by the lovely staff and friendly owner of Jeffrey's restaurant. Thank you so much.
Very good host, yeah.
So guys, this floating fish restaurant that we're sitting on right now, that's Jeffrey's restaurant, is really a marvel for a number of reasons. One is the engineering. It's a pontoon that has been basically developed into a structure, and the more you look around, the more you see how it's all designed to flex and give, and you know, because everything moves, everything has to move. Otherwise it would break, and its probably main strength comes from the cheap nylon rope you can buy from the local hardware, and the whole roof structure, it all moves, it all flexes. But I just love the way they do things in Indonesia. Like, it's just, it'd never pass any building code. If it did, it'd fall apart. So yeah, we've been surrounded by fish. The fish in the aquarium here that are raised for consumption. They're really impressive. You guys have got to check out these huge GTs. Having read lots about Ambon in the maritime history books, I was keen to go ashore. Ambon is the capital of the Maluku Islands, with a population of over 350,000 people. The city of Ambon began to develop in 1513 following the arrival of the Portuguese trader ships. However, in 1605, the Dutch successfully seized Ambon from the Portuguese, embedding Dutch culture for well over 185 years. The Ambon Regency was strategically important for the abundance of valuable spices including cinnamon, nutmeg, pepper and cloves. The British Navy had a brief reign of power in the region from 1796 until 1803, with a return to Dutch governance once again. So, this lady behind me is Martha Christina Tiahahu, and she is a local Ambon hero, having been born in the year 1800 and lived on until the year 1818. She was a freedom fighter who helped overthrow the Dutch, who had been occupying Ambon since the 1600s. Yeah, she's locally revered as a bit of a national hero, and joined a guerrilla fighting force and was well renowned for her bravery in leading other guerrilla attackers into attacking the colony of the Dutch. Now, even though she only lived to be 18, she wasn't killed in battle. She was actually captured in battle in the year 1817 alongside her father, who was also a freedom fighter. She actually got transported to Java, which is a long way from here if you know your geography in Indonesia, and it was encamped as a slave, and she refused to eat and drink and died early in the year 1818. She's well represented here in this massive statue overlooking Ambon Harbour. That's quite an impressive view. Despite local uprisings, the Dutch remained largely in power of Ambon for another 100 years until World War II broke out. This was then followed by Japanese occupation in 1942, having defeated the Dutch and seizing Ambon in a great battle for Ambon as a strategic naval and air base. Australian troops also served and died in the battle for Ambon, with over 1,000 soldiers memorialised at the Australian War Cemetery, many of whom had been POWs under Japanese rule. Another revered freedom fighter against the Dutch was Thomas Matalussi, also known as Patimura. Captain Patimura was successful in destabilising Dutch rule, as is illustrated here at the city centre statue mural. However, he was hanged by the Dutch in 1817, the same year that Martha was captured.
And the boat, Thomas Matalus's daughter, they killed and put in the ocean.
Eventually, Indonesian independence was declared in 1949. Interestingly, as we learned from our local guide Alvesto, many pro-Dutch Ambonese ended up resisting Indonesian rule, deferring instead to Holland as political refugees.
What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, it is a bit rich and it smells a bit funny, but it's very tasty, very custardy.
Yeah.
It smells crazy.
Yeah, it smells really crazy. Oh my god. I don't know about that. That's loose.
It's loose. We're walking around the museum grounds here, and it's half of it looks like
derelict.
It's fallen into disrepair and derelict. Yeah, but there's a whole other. Yeah, it's still interesting. There's a whole other section of the museum down here, so we're just going to go check that out. Wow, how's the gutters?
That's a lot of infrastructure just rotting.
Some very cool large trees. European settler history aside, the Malukan culture was evidently influenced by a rich marine subsistence lifestyle, dating back to well over 40,000 years. Originally home to the Alifuru people, the culture was profoundly shaped by its status as the world's primary source of cloves and nutmeg, fostering early maritime trade, animist beliefs, and later, intense outside influence from Southeast Asian and Arab traders. In our travels through eastern Indonesia, we encounter many of these floating fishing platforms known as bagan, which they use lights above a triangular net below to catch shoals of fish attracted to the light. Right behind me here is a blue whale skeleton, and it's pretty impressive how big they are. You can see that. That's one. Hell of a rib cage. You could park a car in that rib cage. You could park 3 cars. Wow. That's big. That concludes the tour of the Swilana Museum. It's a pretty old museum. It's fairly unattended and fairly run down, but some pretty interesting facts inside there, and lots of maritime history around the fishing nets and the fishing culture. I think the most impressive part for me was the blue whale skeleton, complete, which is massive. So we're going to keep on moving, try and get to the local market before the day is done. Hope you've enjoyed checking out some of Ambon's highlights.